Okay, once the CPU is in place, what we're going to do is we're going to apply a small BB size bead directly in the center of the CPU. You don't need very much of the thermal grease. Be careful not to get any of the other grease on any other components of this motherboard. Okay, once the thermal grease is applied, what we're going to do is we're going to replace the CPU cooling fan. And this fan is the one we took off the previous motherboard. We're going to carefully drop it straight down, attempting to line up the holes to the carrier. You may have to twist it a little bit and make sure that the holes are properly aligned. Okay, let's make sure that the fan is securely fastened to the motherboard. And then what we're going to do is take the CPU cooling fan power supply and connect it right to the motherboard, right there. Okay, now we're going to replace the RAM sticks. It's already notched, and follow the manufacturer's specified location for the RAM and depress it into the appropriate slot. The new motherboard is ready for reinstallation into the computer case. Everything has been installed onto the motherboard, ready for installation. Make sure you install the motherboard backplate to the rear of the computer case. XLCS computer solutions. Okay, the backplate just snaps into the back of the computer case. Just simply align it and snap it into place. Okay, make sure you have a clean case to work with. Make sure all the cables and wires are out of the way. Take the new motherboard and place it into the computer case and align it up with the back plate. Okay, make sure all the holes are aligned. And what we're going to do is we're going to replace the screws. It's best to start with the middle screw and don't tighten them down all the way until the end. Go ahead and secure the rest of the screws to the motherboard and computer case. Okay, now that the motherboard is fastened down, what we're going to do is we're going to replace various cables and adapters. The first cable is the CPU power supply. This gives extra power to the CPU. Okay, we're going to connect the ATA adapter, and that goes right down there. Snugly fasten that into place. We're going to replace the serial connector. We're going to connect the USB connector. Make sure all the cables are connected to the motherboard. It's very important to not forget any wires. Connect the system fan adapter. Acer supplies you with a nice little power connector for your lights. Okay, this neat little adapter connects all your power lights for the computer. This will include your CD-ROM, your main power light, your fans, and other lights. Make sure that the negative is connected up to the negative and the positive connected to the positive. And it shows you on the adapter itself. Okay, now it's time to reinstall the video card, and we're going to put that into the PCI Express card, this blue one right here that the technician's pointing to. Okay, after it's seated into the PCI Express slot, we're going to refasten the screw to the video card. Okay, the motherboard's installed. Now we're going to connect the monitor and the main power supply and test this machine. Okay, we're going to run a test on this computer. We're going to turn the computer on and we're going to make sure that all the fans within inside the case are functioning properly. And you're going to listen for a post beep and a secondary beep. And now the computer boots up. After we make sure that everything's functioning properly, we're going to use tie straps to neatly secure all the loose wires. We're going to go into the BIOS and we're going to set the CPU, motherboard, and RAM settings according to manufacturer settings. We're also going to install all the drivers to this motherboard. That was the motherboard installation, XLCS Computer Solutions.